Let's do little chronicles unscheduled. We end up getting speed ran. It'd be like that sometimes. This thing right here. Hold on, let me turn it up. He probably knows this too, by the way. You see this thing? If you're new to YouTube, you can't do this. You cannot do this. You don't have to like Mr. Beast this shit, but like this, you cannot do it. Funny enough that the video is about viewership in fighting games, and like it has a fucking YouTube intro. If you like it, sure, but he gets to do it because he's an OG. That's it. If he was new to the game, he could not do this. You know what I'm saying? Broski even shorted his. Yeah, I used to do one too. Not an animated one, but I used to have like a line. I used to have like a what's going on, everybody? LK here. I remember the day I stopped doing that. The video where I stopped doing that, people were like, "Oh fuck, it's like the end of an era." Lotus got one and is still fire. I mean, again, he's been around longer. Like it's just funny that the video is about viewership and he's doing something that like objectively is bad for viewership. Like no one denies it.
The hot topic at Evo was Ludwig versus Tyler 1 in Street Fighter 6. I have so many things to say about Tyler 1 and Ludwig specifically.
So far, by the way, I didn't watch it. I was at Evo, but I was doing my own thing. I didn't watch it. I just heard and was probably like many of you surprised that he won. It's funny because Brian have actually made a video about the last time this fella played. So a lot of people were like, this is gonna be free for Tyler 1. Ludwig's not even booting up the game, so what the fuck is the point? And then he pulled the sneak attack.
The important part of the conversation, which is fighting game viewership, which I actually find to be the most interesting part of what has come from all of this talk. I'm not actually here to cover the drama. I baited the shit out of you. You've been baited.
Nah, it's fine.
Fighting game viewership, I might have the most experience just based on I've been doing this stuff for so long. And the only reason I say that is because getting viewership for fighting game videos and streams and tournaments and whatnot has actually been the goal of mine, to create a consistent foundation of people that want to return to watch, and have reasons to return to watch, almost like 15 years now. So yes, I think I'm in a pretty good spot to talk about why.
I am very curious because I have my own takes.
Because the observation that was being made is that there's not a lot of viewership when it comes to fighting games, which is not untrue, especially.
It's okay. I low-key disagree, but I'm gonna let him cook. I low-key disagree. Some people might get mad at what I have to say about this.
Especially since a post-COVID era of fighting games, I have also proposed the question, what happened to tournament viewership? What happened to weekly viewership? What happened to overall YouTube viewership? In many ways, a lot of these things that have historically been bountiful in terms of an audience seems like they have kind of gone down in many ways. As time is.
Are we trolling? Wait, I got him cooked.
And this is reflected in fighting games and viewership. How the hell did Max do it? Number one, talking about myself in a third person like I'm some benevolent bitch. And also talking about a lot of the other people in the space that have found success.
I'm very curious about this because there are like, I consider Jay Wong to be more like Max, basically. And I consider, what did he list? He lists Godwin Quote, Brian F, and Diaphone are different type of content creators than like Max and Justin, in my opinion. I'll elaborate more later.
I have a realization that even in 2012, these Marvel vs. Capcom 3 videos I've been making are not doing as well as they once would. In fact, the majority of this stuff that I realize when I'm not close to the launch window or the lead up to a launch window of a fighting game, turns out most people don't give a shit anymore.
Very interesting. I think if you upload content about fighting games, you run into this. I ran into this question. I'm sure Diaphone's run into this question. I'm sure all the bigger fighting game content creators that you know have ran into this question. This is very real. This applies to almost all games ever have this problem. That's why there's so many variety gamers, variety streamers, or people who are sections of gaming where they can constantly go to like new stuff. Being topical is very good. Being first is really good. So for people who are always like, let's take a why Guilty Gear players strongly dislike. Why do I post it so fast? It's because it's the new shit. So you want to be right there, right? You want to be right there. I have an answer, by the way. Personally, I have an answer to the question. I think it is a pretty important question that does have a couple of answers.
Within a very short period of time, I realized I will not be able to keep making Marvel vs. Capcom 3 content for my whole life. But immediately the idea of 14 years ago, I realized this. You're not going to grow in a fighting game space if you're only preaching to the choir. If you're only appealing to one small corner of the fighting game space, which was like the hardcore fighting game community, you're already diversifying yourself, or I'm sorry, lacking the diversity in ways of dividing that by so much. Like you're like less than 1% of 1% of 1%. You're like,
Okay, I'm gonna put you on game. He's saying it. I'm gonna put you on a little game. For lack of a better word of how to describe this, why do the people who get millions of views get millions of views in the first place? Like, what is like the main? You know, there's a bunch of stuff that contributes to like having a video that gets a shit ton of views, but one of the main factors is like the niche that you're in. So the smaller the niche that you're in, the less views you're gonna get. The bigger the niche is, the more views you're gonna get at a basic level. This is Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. So imagine I was a Shantae YouTuber. I would struggle to think somebody that was consistently uploading about Shantae. They would struggle with viewership maybe, unless they really worked hard and on like making a fucking giga banger video, as opposed to a YouTuber about this series. You see this? Resident Evil. If you make videos about Resident Evil, this is a big ass franchise and they're shitting games out. Very easy in comparison. Not only that, but Resident Evil is in a lot of other shit and Shantae is not in a lot of other shit. So there's just so much shit you can. One thing in my opinion that's pretty nice about fighting games is that you don't have to play one game. If you're good at the genre, you can move around a lot, and you notice that a lot of the bigger creators in this space, and it kind of walks hand in hand with like variety stuff. When a new game comes out, I try to make videos about it like a bit. Street Fighter 6 was a massive release and my Street Fighter 6 videos did amazing. I'm sure if I switched to Street Fighter, I would be fucking popping off. And when Uni 2 came out, I made videos about Uni 2 and the viewership on Uni 2 is way smaller than Street Fighter. So even though the people who watched the videos on Uni 2 really enjoyed it, it's just not as many people are interested in Under Night as they are in Street Fighter. One reason outside of me really liking Strive that I keep playing and making content about Strive is that I noticed there were a couple of games that I booted up that were new, not just Uni. For example, Fatal Fury 2XKO, where I posted the videos and I was surprised actually at how little the interest was for stuff that's like, the games are new. When the games are new, you can do like a lot of like super beginner how to do this 101 and stuff. Like not everybody was getting like big views off these games, but then my GG viewership goes up. Like it's going up, despite the game being a couple of years old. By the time 2X comes out, the game's like 4 or 5 years old. So I'm like, oh, I can just keep playing Guilty Gear. I can just keep on playing Guilty Gear until a game I like or I might like comes out that I think will be big. Sadly, it's like Smash, SF, Tekken. So that's like, there's a bit of a, you have a couple of factors of how recently did the game come out, how big is the niche by default, these two questions, and this determines like how much effort you kind of have to put. So like something like Smash or like SF, which is huge, at the beginning you could just kind of put out whatever. When Strive came out, I was posting like, I remember I have a video, let me find the video. There's a specific video I always think about when I mention this. I cannot believe my favorite YouTuber Elcop posted Slop. This one right here. I played against a Ramathal above level 1000 exclamation point. I didn't know game yet. This is right when the game came out. This is how popular the game was when the game came out. Okay, COVID buff and stuff, but these are just net play matches against like international net play matches basically. Same with this. This is like right around Evo. This is right around Evo, just matches. I was like, oh, above level 1000. I just would be like, oh, I played someone above level 1000. We're gonna upload it. That's how like easy it is at the beginning. In fact, actually, this thumbnail ended up becoming a whole format in fighting games. Like, this is Sentenchi's format, right? This ended up being a whole thing. Like, you see a lot of thumbnails like this now, but Sentenchi was super early, the visionary. So look at the difference between matches from launch and legit season 2. This is like the middle of season 2, 2.5. I'm in Japan. This is like right after I beat like Gobo and Nage. So most people, they don't get past this.
The idea was always to grow and pull in new audience. So much so that I started to realize, man, staying competitive with this shit is really hard. Now that I have to like make all these videos all the time and make all this content constantly and playing all these different games, it pretty much means that my competitive willingness was just unable to keep up with the idea of consistently making content. And this
real shit. Okay, real shit. He's talking about real shit. So in this genre, I won't speak for other genres. In this genre, if you are deciding to make content and be topical, you basically have to give a tournaments. I actually don't know how you do it without literally not doing anything else but content and playing your main game. It's also why I make sure that like about 60 to 70 of my percent of my content is about what I'm maining. And it's a conscious choice for me to not be super topical all the time. Because if I'm super topical all the time, it's you just can't keep up. There's too much stuff going on. And you notice he's talking about like after some time passed, right? So at the beginning, it's like, what's your favorite game? Marvel 3. What's your favorite game? Guilty Gear Strive. What's your favorite game? Street Fighter 6. What's your favorite game? Blaze Blue. And then as things go, as things move, and you work on it, and you make choices and stuff, eventually you get to a point where you have to make this choice. Right now, all I hear is facts.
What's happening is that, yes, overall specifically focused FGC content for a lot of channels is very insular. There's only so much of that audience that exists, and until there are new games, it will go down.
Okay, this is where we start to disagree. Is he right? Kinda. The thing he's not mentioning is like, I'm gonna slowly scroll and tell me what you notice about his channel. Notice anything? Anything? Any clear thangalangs? There we go. The upload frequency is the big thing. He uploads very frequently. The big thing is he is right if you only stay baseline. I just want to use Strive as an example. When a new game comes out, everyone's making character guides, basic guides, stuff the game doesn't teach you. Okay. But like 7 months later, everyone knows the stuff that the game doesn't teach you. 80% of the people who were interested in GG, they know that characters do like 2K, 2D. So if you are in the volume section of YouTube, then it's inevitable that your viewership is going to go down unless people really, really like you, which you build over time, like Max, or they put out a lot of content, which he mentioned, right? And these days, their season passes, it makes it a lot easier. In the past, like I said, like BBCP, right? Chrono Phantasma, that game only has 3 DLC characters. So after Kokonoe comes out, that's it. There's no more fucking DLC until the update comes out. If you decide to upload less, but upload something that's more interesting or more engaging, then look at the new thing, look at the new character, there's a new patch, people are mad, people are da-da-da, right? If you do that, then not only can you get your normal audience, but then you could get your returning audience, and then sometimes you get people who don't even give a fuck about the game. One comment, when I'm like dooming about content, I have like multiple screenshots of people who say like, I don't even give a fuck about this game, I just think it's interesting how you talk about fighting games and shit, and that's why, and I learned stuff from it. The trade-off is you upload less. I used to actually upload every day. If I uploaded less than 5 times a week, I was like dooming. I would doom. But as time went on, in Dragon Ball, I was like, damn, we're really about to go into year 4 of Dragon Ball. What the fuck do I do? Like, no one's trying to watch. It's the same shit. Everyone goes through this. Like, no one wants to watch ranked. Like, how many more, oh my god, I can't believe this guy did this, does people want to watch? You know, he's spitting. It's just that you end up asking yourself, do you want to go high volume and keep up with everything? Or do you want to go the researcher writing, like, trying to learn the game of YouTube, essentially? You have to make that choice. That's where I disagree. And I think you could look at the fighting game up and comers. You could look like the Divo, me, Brian types, people who don't upload that frequently, but have like good viewership and stuff. For me, for GG, my personal view floor is up. Like, it used to, when the game came out, in the scope of all of YouTube, this is why I have to keep reminding myself this. In the scope of all of YouTube, being able to be like, oh, I could post a video that gets 50,000 views is not very impressive for all of YouTube. But in the fighting game YouTube, it's good. But I take more time to put videos out. I actually want to put out more videos. I think I put out videos too slowly.
Let me check this out. And you get huge growth games, the Dragon Ball Fighters, the Smash Brothers Ultimates.
Yeah. So for the games he's talking about, let's see what a third one. Strive didn't last that long for that. Strive was like 3 to 6 months. The first 3 or 4 months of Strive is probably the most money I have ever made in my life. It's just, I don't know how else to describe it. And during that time, do you know what I did? I was like, this shit is not gonna last. I need to save this fucking money. Thankfully, past me, because I just have a natural doomer. I was like, this shit is not gonna last. I did have the hindsight of Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball release is insane. Like, yeah, so like, this is from launch Dragon Ball. This is from launch Dragon Ball. I've watched and listened to so many. Somebody got a massive bag and they spent too much money or they fumbled it. That I was like, yo, if I even get like a crumb of like a special amount of money, I need to save it. Like, need to save it. So I was like, this shit's not gonna last. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it. And it was the right thing to do. Last thing we need is for a drama YouTuber to make a rise of... Dude, that's my literal biggest fear, is waking up and seeing my face. Every time I see my face on YouTube homepage, I freak out. Every fucking time. Every fucking time. It's happened a couple of times. It's always about the game, but I'm like, oh my god, bro, please, bro. I'm not kidding. It is legit the thing. I fucking panic every time. Okay, so of course he mentioned this fella. Friend of the stream, Gal Win quote. Gal Win quote I fucking love because look at this. Vampire Savior, Rival School. He doesn't even say the name of the game here. Just mentioned Virtual Fighter. DVZ before Budokai. He's so good at titling shit. Mugen, Yatagarasu. Be for real. Please tell me. What the fuck do you know about Yatagarasu? Probably nothing. The only thing you need to know is that there's a lot of LK characters in this game. Most people would say that no one gives a fuck about this game. But this video got 200k views. That's why I like this channel a lot. Of course, Third Strike does really well, but he just writes video essays about various fighting games that he's interested, that he thinks is cool, and the viewership is good. You can't really say shit. I'm not talking about the Yu-Gi-Oh card. I'm talking about the fighting game, Yatagarasu, not Yata locking. This is a great example. Another one is this guy. There's this guy, Brawl Alternative. He makes videos only about Brawl, the Smash game that everyone hates, including myself. He hasn't uploaded for a while, but again, 24 videos, everyone, 6-figure views, you know, mad views. This is an old game. This is an old-ass game. It's a game from like 2008. Okay, you could say, but it's Smash, but it's Brawl, and Brawl is old as fuck. Even your boy's own channel. There are videos here that are about just older games. This is about older games. Okay, no beard jump scare. This has older games. That's Injustice in it. This has fucking Juggernaut from Marvel vs. something. One of the many Marvel games. Justin always got us with the retro. And there are even games like, you have to scroll a little bit more, but like videos on games like Vampire Savior or like farming BBCT for content and Guilty Gear Accent Core, Guilty Gear Exerd, like all this shit. It's not that people don't care. You have to like tickle their interest. If you go this route, you just have to think a little bit more about what is interesting to people. And by the way, there's many more examples.
Final Fantasy VII things. Like, hey, you know, are you guys here for Final Fantasy VII? But brother, look at this Guilty Gear Strive game. Or Guilty Gear Xrd, it was at the time. Look at this Xrd game. Look how crazy this Xrd game is. Isn't this crazy? I'm not going to tell you to buy it, but damn, I'm going to tell you why I love this shit. I'm going to tell you why it's so cool.
You know what's really heartwarming about this is that like it's very 2010s YouTube. I mean, it literally is, but like the way that people talk about YouTube now is so, not everybody, to be fair. I will never forget, I was in like a group chat. It's like a question answer with everybody. And this fella was like, I have a question. People are like, what's the question? He's like, how do we make the viewers more parasocial to us? And I was like, what a dark thought that that's your goal. And I was like, why do you want to do that as the goal? And he's like, if I do that, they'll be more invested. I'll get more views and they'll buy shit. And I'm like, are you wrong? No. Is it weird that you want to go straight there? I'm like, yes, for sure. That's evil. You'd be surprised. And I'm not coming at people who are trying to like, you know, they sell merch or they have, you know, I sell shit. Like I have coaching. It is like the goal from inception is to like get people to feel this way. So he's just like, this is the stuff that I like. And I want people who like this stuff that I like to also see if they're interested in this stuff that I like. There's merch. There is. And I'll promote it better soon.
I could literally gateway drug their ass into not realizing, hey, you know, I didn't come here for fighting game content, but now I like it. That was my ultimate debate all these years. It still is to this day. And I more hyper focus on the thing that I think is actually the most important for my audience and my streams. It sounds weird. It's happiness. It's actually vibes. Fulfill the things that in my head would make me happy, trying to eliminate moments of deep frustration. And sometimes frustration can be good. It can be entertaining. It can be fun to watch frustration happen.
Like an Oscar.
But I think also like anger.
Like in Faust.
And frustration in some moments is just all bad vibes. I want people to be around for a stream of me saying shit about a game. I just kind of want to eliminate those things and only focus on the shit that I have fun with. And I'm
getting stabbed.
Regular game and fighting game.
I do click off when I see the Salt Vortex form in streams. I wonder, is it that like the impression of this person is always angry? Is it that? Like, all they do is be mad and complain? Okay, no, don't get salty. I mean, I'm only human. I do think I do a good job of not truly getting bad on stream. I think I do it in a funny way. I think I talk shit in a funny way. I don't just say everyone sucks. Or, you know, my secret weapon, I'll tell you my secret weapon. My secret weapon is going, this motherfucker's trash, and then immediately when they smoke me for the next thing, I'm like, wait, my bad. I'm the person who's garbage. And I think that's what makes people feel fine. But also makes my head feel better. Because there are people who I know of who are associated with salt. Surprisingly, I'm not associated with salt or rage. I'm associated with downplay of all things. But it's not like I don't get upset on stream. There's like funny salt and then actual salt and rage. If the person is normally not salty, that's entertaining. The person is always salty, it's mentally draining and turns me off. That makes a lot of sense. That actually makes a lot of sense.
To build an audience around this shit sucking. And yeah, to each their own. It's just the exact opposite of what I want to do. Doesn't mean I'm not going to be critical of shit. In fact, I am the notorious hater of everything. This is my great weakness in the fighting game community is that
This guy? Him. Real? It's so hard for me to be excited for a new announcement that every time I do a pog face is a big deal. You get like one every 2 years. It's so rare that I'm like, oh my fucking god, this thing is coming out. We need more. We need examples.
I've bitched about everything. So much though that almost every single FGC that I've ever known, from the Marvel vs. Capcom to the Street Fighter side, to the Tekken side, to the Soul Calibur side, I'm the guy that complained about everything and is the reason why that shit sucked. But it got to a point where those complaints lead to something that hopefully is a point of growth and we can get better at.
I mean, if you're just complaining, that's not negative.
If you're doing any of this and creating content around something and not enjoying it, then I personally feel like you should just not do it. And if it's your job, I understand, but it needs to be a point where your audience also wants to see you do well. If you're a competitive player and it's your job to specifically be competitive at something, that I don't know. I'm not here to tell how esports dudes should esports.
I have the tech for you. The tech is, even if you hate the game, you gotta play something that you like so that you forget you hate the game. Even if you hate the game, there's something in there that you would like to do. Even if it's just make other people's lives miserable.
The amount of people that told me they got into Guilty Gear from Guilty Gear Xrd videos I made felt amazing. Even though I couldn't dedicate all my time to it, bro, that feels way better than being like the best at something. Introduced
these things, you would be surprised by the way how touching it is. Again, like anytime someone's like, yeah, I don't fucking play any of this shit, but like I like listening to you talk about it, I'm just like, oh my god, bro. I'm just like, wow, you don't play the shit, but you watch the video anyway in its entirety. To me is like, I do that for other games, but you have to make the choice. Fuck, that's like one of the biggest compliments. It's like every time it's like getting a hug from a giant puppy, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you see, like you're the only Strive content I even bother with at this point. I don't play the game anymore. That is so touching. I got into Strive because of you. I was considering it, but it was your videos that decided. Like that shit is like, even hater ass LK can get people interested in the games I play. But fucking, if he thinks he's a hater, he has no idea the crazy shit I be saying. Aiki, you and Hotashi were what made me actually start playing Strive again. That's so amazing.
I'm just saying, we were doing this stuff for a very long time just because we loved it and there was no money involved at all.
I started doing content for a few reasons. Was money, I'm not gonna lie. But it was because it's not what you think. I mean, clearly it's not what you think. Because one of the reasons was because when I was on Beast Coast, year one, I was panicking because I fucking played Ginyu. And I was like, dude, I keep getting fucked. And these people are going to fire me from my job of playing Dragon Ball. So I need to do something, and I don't know what to do. And then my good friend convinced me to do content. And he gave me a lot of reasons, and one of the big reasons was the bigger your channel, the less likely they'll kick you off this team. So I was like, all right, awesome. I would say it was about 30% of the reason why I started doing content. Another third, at the time, I was very annoyed at like people who are doing daily uploads on Dragon Ball really saying shit I didn't agree with. Tall characters are worthless because they could get fuzzied, and I was like, no, they still can do all these other things and you don't die for getting mixed up. So it's like you get hit for getting mixed up but you don't die for getting mixed up. And the other one is that people really hate Snap, and I'm like, yo, no one wins with Snap. A lot of people was like, the game needs push block. I'm like, dude, all the moves are minus in this game, why the fuck are we talking about push block? And then like the last was like, I already liked making videos like forever. Like again, my YouTube channel is old as fuck. My YouTube channel is from when YouTube started, like in 2006. I was already interested in making videos. I just never was like, what if I just never stopped?
Specifically here to influence or manipulate. I goddamn hate the word influencer. We were just here.
Unfortunately, I think if you're more in like the normal human angle, you're like, I hate the word influencer. But again, top players say you lose to throwing mids, bro. Like, I can't say I'm not an influencer. Pot players and Nago players tell people they lose to throws and mids, bro. The only time I gave the throws and mids pass was Varix versus Gobo. When Varix lost to Gobo at Evil France, he gets off the stage, and I was like, yo, mids, throws, and a dream, bro. He walks off stage, I'm like, Sisyphus would be so proud, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I have never had an opportunity where I just exploded with massive viewership that was rainbows flying out of my ass of just, goddamn, I cannot believe how many people are watching me. This is crazy, bro. You might say that for the Assist Me series back in the day, but I had an absolute insane subscriber base of 20,000 subs after doing it for nearly a year. 20,000. That's what it got me. So
that's pretty good though in 1 year. That's really fucking good for 1 year. I'm not gonna lie. Do you know how I be saying? Do you know how I be talking about like the content brain about numbers? That's a great example of having content brain and numbers. Like, is 20,000 a lot? No, but also yeah. You know what I mean? Like 20K in a year is really fucking good. Like, it's ridiculously good, actually. It's beyond really fucking good. It's ridiculous. And you might even make the argument that you don't want to speedrun growth because, like, you might not be able to handle how to grow. I remember when Strive came out, I didn't know how to handle a a stream chat that was more than, like, 300 people. I just didn't know how to, like, now when I watch bigger streamers, I get why, like, it's so hard for somebody to get their attention, or like why someone might ask the same thing like 6 times and stuff. It's because you just can't see everything.
Because yeah, there is no great benefit to it. There's no giant audience benefit to this.
There is one benefit though. I personally like how I don't have to be super online and keep up with every fucking new thing that comes out and every new popular friend swap game or new like shit that I like how I could just like play the game that I like that has a decent following that like people play and people know about, and I like how I can focus on my own goals. When you're at that level, you basically have to really worry about number go up. Do I worry about number go up? Of course, but I don't have to like freak out about number go up. I do understand that at some point I have to move on, which is the intent with Marvel Tokon, right? Like at some point, but I got to push it back. Like, I didn't have to play Street Fighter. A bunch of, like, almost, frankly, like, I feel like, I don't know if you group me with other people, but if you do, I'm, like, one of the main people who just don't play, I just don't play Street Fighter. I don't play Street Fighter, I don't play Tekken. Those are, like, the 2 biggest games. I just play my shit. I just play the game that I like. I like Guilty Gear. Is it one of the biggest fighting games? Yes. Is it the biggest? No. And I'm just like, it's chill. It's fun. It's fun, and people still care about it, so I'll keep going. That's really what it is.
That is the whole point of the video.
Honestly, pretty interesting. I want to talk about the fucking drama though. Cool, yeah, I don't have much to add. For lack of a better word, having like a unique skill is that like some of these things that have some of the biggest streamers are also like by far the most competitive. Like, imagine being like an IRL streamer, you know? Like, compared to being a fighting game streamer. Is it hard technically to be a fighting game streamer? Yes. I'm not gonna say it's not. You do have to do, there's a lot of legwork and shit that you have to do it. But once you're in a decent spot, you're chilling. Is less views really worse than no views? It depends. And I will not lie to you. One of my goals is to grow my viewership. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of other fighting game YouTubers where their goal is to grow their viewership. And it's a combination of... So in my case, one of my biggest goals is that, like, at least from my perspective, since so many people are, like, kind of, like, topical or only follow, like, the biggest thing... and I really see this in Strive specifically, because I can't say this for Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball was the biggest game when I was making videos about it. But, like, it's just that, like, all I learned is that there are way, way, way more people who are interested in fighting games than we actually know. And the problem is, we're not speaking to all these people the right way. And we're, like, missing people. I'm not saying that, like, every video's gotta be a milli, you know? But, like, there's more on the table. I'm one of those people, I think there's more on the table. Do I think? I kind of know there's more on the table. Basically, my only problem with the clip was that he did it at Evo. He did it at Evo. That was kind of not the right, and, you know, it's sure banter, but you don't want to say that at Evo, dude.